Here we are at the final parts of 2025, the year that was supposed to give, but it lacked in every single aspect. And it is finally coming to an end. Welcome to my channel, my name is Romina, and today we're going to have my 10 before the end list. So as I said, 2025 was not it, okay? It was supposed to be full of great books, full of hope, and thinking that everything is going to get better. Spoiler alert, it did not at all. So in this perfect year that we experienced with each other, we, not you, but we, the people living in Iran, went through a war. We had a period of time that we were waiting for the war to begin again, and that period has not yet ended. So every day is going with the fear of, oh my god, is it going to start again? Air pollution, water shortage. This year has been a disaster, and hopefully the next year is going to be better, but I'm really scared to say that because every time I say that it just gets worse. So let's just skip to the good part and be like, okay, let's end the year better than we started it, and end it with 10 good books that I need to read so that I can leave 2025 in peace. Okay, here's my 10 before the end. The first book that I really need to read is Sunrise Before the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. It is a shame, I am ashamed of myself, that this book has been out for most of 2025 and I have yet to pick it up. Okay, the social situation here is so dire that I was scared to pick this book up. I am not ready for something to break my heart, and I've heard that this one does. I am not ready to have a corrupt government in my books because I'm experiencing that in the real world. So it has been very hard for me to want to pick this book up, but I need to because there is no way that I will end 2025, God please don't make me a liar, without finishing this book. So hopefully I'm going to finish it before 2025 ends. Second book that again came out this year, and it is such shameful admission to say that, hey, I have yet to read this book, in Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, one of my favorite authors. Almost every single book by this author has been 5 stars for me. I was beyond excited that another book was coming out by this author. Why haven't I picked it up yet? A war happened close to the time that this book came out, and I was like, there is no way I'm going to read this book in this situation and forever taint my experience of it. Please don't do that. Thank you so much. So I didn't, and since the war ended, I was really not in the mood. So this book is still on my to be read shelf. So hopefully I'm going to read it before 2025 ends, because that's really, really rude to not read a Taylor Jenkins Reid book when it comes out. Next, I have Don't Let Him In by Lisa Jewell. Again, another book that came out this year. I'm not in love with Lisa Jewell's writing, I just think that she's getting better and better and better. I always really enjoy the experience of reading her books. It never really leaves an everlasting impact on me, so usually I forget it after I end it, but the time that I'm reading it is a very great experience. So I need to read Lisa Jewell's new book. From what I know, it is about a family, and when the father of this family dies, a man enters the life of these people who are mourning their father or husband, and he claims that he knows the father, or he knew the father before he passed away, and just ruins their lives. And what can be better than a family drama? Especially because I love family dramas. So we're going to read Lisa Jewell's book. It's a thriller, it's quick, It's gonna be a great ending for the year. My Friends. Not you, obviously you too, but the book My Friends by Frederick Bachman is another 2025 release that I was so excited about. Bachman is a genius, and I love to pick his books up without knowing what's going to go on in this book, because it is never really about what the premise says that it's about. You start a book thinking it's just about a heist. No, it is not. Then you read a book, you think it's just about hockey. No, it is not. And now we have My Friends, that, from what I know, is about a group of friends. We follow them in a dual timeline. 25 years ago, something happened to this friend group, and we get to see them now. One of the, again, the tropes and subgenres that I love, time jump, and something horrific happening, then we get to see the time jump. But I am sure when I read this book, I'm going to be like, it was not just about a friend group. I'm sure it's about so much more, and I cannot wait to read from Bachman again, because his writing is perfection. Next one is A Land So Wild by Erin A. Craig. I've never read a book by her, but from what I heard from some of my favorite booktubers, this book is about a sort of town, land thingy, that people that live in it cannot leave this town. So even if you spend one night in this place, you cannot escape it. So if you try to get out of this place, it just pulls you back in. And it kind of reminds me of, what was that series? You know that series that there was a dome? Was it the name of it, The Dome? You know what I mean? The one that the team couldn't get out of the town. It was a barrier. I'm sure this is not like that, but it kind of reminds me of that, and it kind of reminds me of that part of the Vampire Diaries that they couldn't leave Mystic Falls. I don't know, it just came up in my mind when I was saying it to you. So, can't wait to see the magic and what's going on. I've heard that the second part of it is not the best, but you know, let's hope that I'm going to like it. The next release that I need to read before 2025 ends is Every Step She Takes by Alison Cochrane. I don't know anything about this book, and I do not want to know anything about this book. She writes sapphic romance in a way that just speaks to me. Okay, I'm a bisexual woman, and I'm way more attracted to women, so I get this dynamic very, very well. And I love the way she writes, because it just reminds me of my experiences. Most of the authors who write sapphic romances are the ones with the experience of a sapphic relationship, but every relationship is different, obviously, duh. But the way she writes it, it just reminds me so much of my relationships. I don't know if it's a good thing or it's a bad one, because I haven't really had healthy. Aw, my cat is sitting next to me looking at me. Oh baby, you're the cutest. Aw. Okay, don't bite me. Oh. Don't bite me. Do not bite me. Aren't you the best? Aren't you the cutest? Aren't you the loveliest? Okay. Sorry. My cat is always, again, distracting me. But what was I even saying? Oh yeah, the relationships in these books. So I don't really want to know what it's about. All I need to know is that it's a sapphic romance written by the same author who wrote Here We Go Again, and the biggest crush I have on a fictional woman. This is going to be great, and I am sure I'm going to love it. Next, what else do I have? Oh yeah, Your Knife, My Heart by K.M. Mornova. After the perfection that was Once Upon a Demon's Heart, of course I'm going to read a duology. That the first book came out in November, second one is going to come out in December. It's an enemies to lovers story because she writes enemies to lovers in the way that just scratches an itch in me. The one that's like, I want them to be enemies, and I don't want them to be quick lovers. I want there to be struggle, and I want to see that tension. And she writes that so perfectly. So this is about, from what I know, a girl who was excused from being executed, but her punishment now is to go through these trials with a man who's so violent and so dangerous and cannot really control his impulses. And now she has to work with him and survive. So that is her punishment. And the artwork, she does the artwork herself, and oh my god, is the artwork perfect. And it just gives me the perfect enemies to lovers vibes. Love the fact that her hair is pink and his is silver. I'm going to love this book. Hopefully I'm going to read this one and the sequel at the same time, because it's coming out really, really soon in December. Another book that I've talked about in my most anticipated books of 2025 is Gugush. As I said it in that video, Gugush is an iconic pop star legend of Iran, and this is the first time she has written a biography memoir type of book, and everybody in Iran knows this person. I grew up listening to her songs, and everybody kinda hint at the fact that she was really beautiful, desired by every single man and woman. Everybody had a crush on her, but also they usually talk about the fact that she had a lot of great lovers, also very well-known crushes were in a relationship with her, and she had a lot of them, and a lot of them were kinda talked about a lot, controversial relationships, and I cannot wait for this book. Since the day I heard that there's going to be a book by her and about her life, I'm telling you, this woman has a lot to say, and this book is going to be juicy. She has lived a life that many of us don't get to live. She was in every single live show. She was on the radio. Her shows were so popular, they sold out. Let's just say she's an Iranian Evelyn Hugo, but a singer. So kind of a Daisy Jones. Yes, she's an Iranian Daisy Jones. And she's coming out with a memoir. 2nd of December, I'm staying home. And I'm going to devour this book. No matter what. God, please don't let a war begin. But hopefully that doesn't happen and I get to read this book. Crossing our fingers. The 9th book that I'm going to put on this list is The Possession of Alba Diaz by Isabel Cañas. I have never read a book by her, never, but I have heard that her writing is really, really beautiful, and I love the cover of this book. Even though I'm not a horror reader, I think this is going to be an amazing book, and I really want to read this one so that I can get to her backlist and read all of the books that she has written previously, and I think this is her newest book, so it's a very great entry point for me. I don't know what it's about. Horror is one of those genres that I don't like to be spoiled or even know details about the summary or the synopsis of the book. I want to just jump in blind and be like, okay, where are we? Let's figure it out with the book. But the cover looks like it's going to be great atmosphere in this book. Last but not least, we have another book that was released in 2025 Fable for the End of the World by Ava Reed. Love Ava Reed. She always has very important stuff to talk about in her kind of fantasy books. Yes, there's usually a romance in it, and it is a very main plot point, but not the only one. She always puts very important stuff that we need to digest and talk about in our society in her books. And there are so many subtle hints at them that you realize that you've been thinking about this concept throughout the book, but it was not in your face. And I love her writing, I love this cover, and I think it's very rude that I haven't read this book yet. But I am not going to read the summary. I don't want to know. I just want to be in another world created by Ava Reed. I'm also going to read the second book, the sequel of A Theory in Drowning. I don't know what's the second book called. Or was that the second book? You know, the Dark Academia book. I'm also going to read the second book in that one. Probably the next video that I'm going to post is my Dark Academia reading vlog. And I'm going to read that one there. So hopefully we're going to read 2 Ava Reed books in the rest of the year. Okay, that's it. That's my 10 before the end list. Give me your recommendations. I'm probably not gonna have the time to read them in December, but I'm going to read them in January. January is usually a very good reading month for me, and I read a lot. So if you can give me that list, I will be very thankful. Thank you for watching my video. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, all those stuff, and hope that I'm going to live long enough to update you on the rest of the year and next year. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Bye bye.